Am I making a difference in life? Am I making an impact? The dream that I have, the vision that I have, the business that I have, am I making an impact as a father, a mother, a teacher, a coach? Am I really making an impact in this world? That is what we are going to talk about today. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, your empowerment, success, and purpose coach, helping you become all what you were designed to be. And you are listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be, certified and credentialed through the International Coaching Federation. Sit back, relax, and let us go on a journey together of transformation. Now, some of you know the routine. Can I have your permission to coach you today? Can I have permission to come into your circle? Can you grant me access into your world so I could pour into you and motivate you and inspire you? Thank you so much for allowing me to come in your space and giving me that opportunity to coach you today. I want you to know that everything that is said in this coaching session is confidential. It's between me and you. That's right. It's between me and you. And if you share something to me on the back channel or text me or call me, your story, what you share to me, is between me and you, unless you want me to share it on the podcast. But before we get into the coaching, let's get our agreement. And our agreement today is we want to focus on and really look in. We want to put our lives, we want to put the vision, we want to put our dreams, we want to put what we're doing in life for those out there those ambitious people, those people who want to live above average, who don't want to be average but live extraordinary. We want to go into the surgery room of dreams. We want to go into the surgery rooms of purpose. We want to go into surgery rooms of assignments and callings, and we want to go into the surgery room today, and we want to look under the x-ray, and we want to see, and we want to ask ourselves, are we making an impact? So that's our focus. We want to look at what I say. We want to look at, let's make it personal. We want to look at, am I making an impact? Get it right, coach. Am I making an impact? Now, during this time that you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, and thank you for all who are listening and watching, there are so many people. Oh, it ties in what we're talking about today. There are so many people around the world that listen to this podcast. I mean, every week there are new people from around the world. Some countries I will never visit. Some people I will never meet. But this podcast is making an impact. What are your expectations? What are your expectations in the next few minutes that we have? What are your expectations? What do you like to see come out of this coaching session? Yeah. What do you would like to see? Now, let's get deep into this session today. Am I making an impact? You know, this week, someone reached out to me, and I mean, like every day was like someone reach out to me and they say, keep recording your podcast, man. They say your podcast is encouraging me, is motivating me, is inspiring me. There's a gentleman that he sometimes I ask him to listen to the podcast, and I say, give me your feedback. And when he gives me a feedback, he breaks down the points, point 1, point 2. And he say, this is what I got from you, coach. I have somebody else. They say, hey, man, I just thank you for your encouragement. They say, my life. They say, my life is better now because of you over the years, just encouraging me, and over the years of just motivating me. Somebody sent me a message yesterday. They said, "Oh, it's so good to see you out there just walking and doing what you love to do, coaching people." Somebody last week said, "I'm so glad that you start up your podcast again." And this was they said, "Your voice is needed. Your voice is needed." And then somebody also reached out to me yesterday. They said, "Guess what? I didn't know you started recording your episodes all over again, because up to last year, I didn't record a podcast for about almost a year. It was almost a year. And I started recording, and I could hear in their voice, "Thank you." And some people, I mean, there are people constantly encouraging me. And sometimes we don't realize the impact that we are having. Now, here's the thing with impact. There are two impacts that you're making in this world. Regardless of where you live, whether you live in North America, South America, whether you live in the Bahamas, whether you have $1 million in your bank, whether you have $1 in your a bank account, whether you went to college or you didn't go to college, whether you wherever you are physically, mentally, psychologically, there are only two impacts that you're making in this world. And the two impacts that you're making in this world, listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up, family. You're either making a positive impact or you're making a negative impact. You either make I like to dissect. That's the lens I look as a coach. I like to dissect. You're either making a positive impact or you're making a negative impact. Here's what happened to me just about 7 days ago. I went to this establishment, and when I went to this establishment, I ordered some food, okay? I ordered some food, and then after I ordered the food, I went out and did what I wanted to do, started, getting my belongings or what have you. And I said, by the time as I finished getting everything that I went into this establishment to get, I will be able to just go to the window and pick up my order and leave because it was already paid for. So I went, to the establishment, did what I had to do, got everything, and then it was time to leave. And then I went to the window to pick up my order. And the numbers that they were calling, it passed my number. So I was like, "Oh, I know my order's ready." I got there, I showed the lady my ticket. And when she looked at my ticket, she gave me one item from my order, but the other item, for some reason, was not there. I don't know if because I waited for so long, someone ended up getting my order. I don't know. So therefore, she said this, and we've all been there. She said, "We have to do your order over." And in that moment, I was saying to myself, that is the reason why I pre-ordered, right? I pre-ordered. Therefore, when the time was coming for me to leave, that was the whole purpose of me pre-ordering, right? This I'm going in my mind. I pre-ordered, so when I was ready to leave this establishment, I could just walk up and get it. And then there were people around. Some people were getting frustrated, right? Some people were angry because people were waiting for their orders. Now, there were a lot of people there. Why? Because the food is good. The food is good. And then this is what changed my life. And I didn't have a nasty attitude. I was very intentional. I was like, "Hey, I relax, or some people take that breathe in. Oh, let's do that right now. Let's do that. Let's take a nice breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. And relax the body. Yes, that's so good." And then the lady brought my order to me. And this is what she said. She looked me in my eye because she was kind of, the window was like that. And she said, "Why are you looking like that?" She said, "Smile." She said, "Here is your order." She said, "Why are you looking like that?" She said, "Smile." And in that moment, she was coaching me. She don't know that this was Antonio Landis Thompson, Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, right? an international certified coach. She didn't know that this was King Tones. She didn't know she was talking to the host of Winners for Life coaching podcast, to my knowledge. She said, "Why are you looking like that?" She said, "Smile." And in that moment, I realized, mm, even though I was not being nasty, right, with my attitude, my body language was saying something different. Mm. I didn't realize that when I got my order or I received my order from this lady, she saw that I was kind of probably upset or was angry. Did I have a reason? Some people say, well, you have a reason to be angry, you have a reason to be upset. But also, I'm a leader. So whether my item took long or my order took long, I still I'm very cautious of how I treat people, I'm very cautious of that. And I didn't realize I was making an impact to this lady. Now let's step back. I don't know who this lady is. I'm going to go back to that establishment, maybe go back there today because the food is good. I didn't realize, listen up, I didn't realize I was making an impact on this lady based on how I receive my food. You see, we either making a positive impact or a negative impact. Now, here's the learning thing that I learned from that. Next time I go there, whether my order is ready or not, I'm going to be intentionally, whoo, I'm going to be intentionally smiling. I'm going to have nice energy. I'm going to come with a good vibe because guess what? Behind the scenes, they're preparing all of these foods, right? Preparing all of these items. And there's so many people. Imagine if I was smiling. Imagine, now I did say thank you. But imagine if I was smiling. Imagine if my body language, right? Imagine if my body language was saying something different. But why did she say smile? Maybe I was not smiling. Why did she say you don't have to look like that? Meaning that in that moment she was telling me, be grateful. Ooh. Be grateful even though we probably messed up on your order, even though your order was late, be grateful that you got your order. Not only did I realize this, if she noticed it and I was able to talk to her, right? I was able to talk to her. What happened to the other people around me? What impact was I making to the people around me? Now, one or two people talk to me. They say, "What are you waiting on?" I say, "I've been waiting on this," and I pre-order and etc. But I wonder what impact I was making. You say, "What's the moral of the story, Coach Antonio Landis Thompson?" First of all, I want to check in with you. How are you doing so far? How are you doing so far? And what I realized that in that moment, all of us, we are either making a positive impact or a negative impact. You see, we are making an impact every day. We are making an impact every day. You know, the way you drive through your neighborhood, you're making an impact. You know, the way you look at your neighbor and you say hi to them, you're making an impact. You know, when I go running through my neighborhood, there are people looking at me and I'm making an impact. Do you know when you drive in and you see somebody running or exercising, what it does to you? It makes you feel good like, boy, guess what? I need to get up and I need to get up and probably exercise. When you pass a gym and you see the people working out and running on that treadmill, what it does, it's making an impact on you because guess what? It's reminding you the importance of what? Exercising. You're either making a positive impact or a negative impact. Here's another story someone shared with me. Someone shared with me. I'm so excited, it's like I'm just sweating, right? Here's another story someone shared with me. This gentleman works with a young man, and for some reason, right? For some reason that he didn't show up this day or he was work or what have you. And the environment, let me set the stage. The environment he works at, this gentleman works at a school, okay? He works at a school, and he was working with this gentleman, just talking to him, being a mentor to him. And he said, someone called and asked him, say, "Hey man, where you at? Are you coming to work today?" Something like this, And he said, "Why?" He said, this young man, let's call him John. He said, John is asking everybody, where you at? He said, he's asking for me? He said, yes, he's asking for you. You sure he said, yeah, he's asking for me. And he said, you know what, Coach Antonio Landis Thompson? I didn't realize the impact I was having on this gentleman. Mm. You see, you'll be surprised of the impact that you're having. Now let's switch to your dream. Let's switch to your purpose. You see, the thing that you were born to do, that purpose that is inside of you, like I always tell people, your purpose is not lost. Your purpose is inside of you, waiting for you to discover. That purpose that is inside of you, if you're walking that purpose out, you're making an impact. That dream that you have and you're living out, you're making an impact. You see, if you're a writer and you bring out a newsletter every week, you'll be surprised you are making an impact. If you are a teacher and you're showing up to that school every day, you are making an impact on somebody's child. If you are a plumber, when you show up to go do work, you are making an impact. But see, what society makes us feel is like we're not important and we're not making an impact. You see, you are making an impact. And today I want to encourage you that whatever you are born to do, you keep doing that. You see, for about a year, I recorded no podcast. I reported no new episode, but there were still people listening to the podcast. And then one day one year, that time when I had this year off, the year I didn't record a podcast, one day I look at my stats and it's like, there are people still listening to my podcast, but they're listening to the previous podcast. And it's like, I'm not recording a new episode, but there are people still listening. And I said, you know what? I'm making an impact. Yesterday, I was talking to Terrence Elmore. He wrote the book, Pain. Oh my gosh, I have it right here. He wrote the book, Pain is Not Your Only Paintbrush. I have it right here. Let me show you. And he recorded a podcast yesterday, and he shout out his podcast is the Brown Sugar Calf. The Brown Sugar Calf. And he was also talking about that yesterday on his podcast. And he did a story where he was not going to record a podcast, and his wife asked him, "It's like, are you going to record a podcast?" And then I reached out to him, and he said something on his podcast also. You'll be surprised to know that you're making an impact. And he said, wow, there are people out there watching us. Now, here's the thing. Today, I want us to be intentional about our actions. If you go into that store today, I want you to be intentional how you smile. When I go places and I shop, sometimes I ask the cashier, how are you doing? How was your day? Because the line is so long, people are frustrated. And maybe by you asking them, how are you doing or how was your day? In that moment, it lifts some of that stress that they are going through. In that moment, they realize out of 1 million people that will come to the store today, there is someone who see, understand, and appreciate me. Be intentional about the actions we make. Whether we see it or we don't see it, our body language, what we say, what we do, we're making an impact. That dream that you have, that dream that you have, that dream that you are walking out, don't you stop on that. Don't you quit, because you are making an impact every day, and let's be intentional about our impact. Now, before we go, some of you know the routine. I want to ask you, what was your aha moment today? What 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 was something that surfaced right now in this moment? What emotions are you feeling right now? What emotions are you feeling right now? What came to your surface in this coaching session today? Hmm? Also, I want to ask you, what are you taking away today? What are you taking away today? What are you taking away today? What is your takeaway today? My takeaway today for me, because even though I'm coaching myself, is be mindful that my action speaks volumes. Be mindful that everything I do is either making a positive or negative impact. That was my takeaway. Now, I also want to ask you, what are your action steps? Write down about one or two or three action steps that you're going to do, or what you're going to put in place. Therefore, you could hold yourself accountable and I could hold yourself accountable. Here's an action step I'm going to do. An action step I'm going to do is, when I sit down at my desk today, I'm going to write down this statement. I'm going to write down this statement. I'm going to put something like positive or negative impact. My actions, my actions speak louder than my words. I'm going to put something around about impact or action. So when somebody comes in my office, they're going to be like, "What is that?" I say, "Well, today I'm practicing to be intentional about the actions that I do." Thank you for listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, especially to everybody all around the world. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson. Winners for Life Coaching Podcast is a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. I want to do something I haven't done on my podcast. I think I never did it. I want to end with a prayer. I want to end with a prayer. God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for life. We thank you for energy. We thank you. We're grateful for this day, and we're grateful to be alive. And forgive us for those actions that we did that were not good actions. I pray for that lady that day that served me, wherever she is right now. I speak blessings over her life, blessings over her family. And today, God, we thank you for the act. We thank you that our actions will represent love. Our actions will represent joy. Our actions will represent peace. I pray for people all around the world that are listening to this podcast. I'm so grateful. People who want to discover that purpose. They want to discover that purpose that's inside of them. I pray that you give them an understanding today of that purpose that is inside of them. We speak a blessing over this day. We speak a blessing over our children. And we declare today that the day is a day of love, joy, peace. We thank you that the day is going to be purposeful. We thank you that everywhere we go today, we carry that love, that joy, that peace. Amen. First time prayer on Minister for Life Coaching Podcast. I got to go. It was good talking to you. The best and the greatest day to be alive is the day. Please share this. Please share this podcast with somebody to give them some hope and some inspiration. Until I see you again, I got to say it again. The best and the greatest day to be alive is today. What are you grateful for? Your life is going to be great today. Your life is going to be amazing. And remember today that your action speaks louder than words. And you and me and every one of us, we either making a positive impact or we making a negative impact. But today, Winners for Life Coaching community, we are going to make a positive impact. Love, peace, joy, and blessings. Love y'all.